Hello there and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to properly stack all the attack bonus boosts we can think of in order to reach 90 and even higher AB for our characters. Having such high attack bonus means you can hit even the Demon Lords on unfair with complete ease. Camellia here, for example, has an amazing plus 96 attack bonus, and even managed to get 115 as a final attack result, which is, well, enough to hit pretty much everything, even on unfair. Alright, so first I'll start with rather unique sources that I believe most players don't really know about, and later I'll cover more staple, common ones. The first ones I'd like to talk about all come from domains, accessible to either clerics or inquisitors. First we have Visions of Madness, from Madness domain. Now this ability is absolutely insane. It gives half the cleric's class levels to one of your characters as attack bonus, skills or saving throws for 3 rounds. A level 20 cleric, like Social here for example, can increase your AB by 10 whole points. What's even better is that this is an untyped buff, so it stacks with everything besides itself.
I'll watch your back.
Second, let's talk about Guarded Hearth. This is an ability from Community domain that gives the cleric's Wisdom modifier as attack bonus and saving throws for your whole party, so long as they stand inside the blue area of effect. Third, we have Inspiring Command from Nobility domain. This ability gives your whole party a +2 insight to attack bonus, skills and armor class. As you can see, these 3 powerful abilities alone can give your party up to +22 attack bonus that you can't really get anywhere else, so it really pays off to have a cleric focus on domains, and Social can certainly fit that role. Just remember to get him in possible domain, Madness, Community and Nobility as you gain more Mythic ranks. Now the second group I'd like to talk about comes from food. The earliest is Curse Pilaf, I believe, a recipe that gives +1 cooking to AB for your whole party. Now we can also get a stronger +3 party-wide AB from Demon Slayer Soup. You can find a recipe for this soup from the tavern guy in the Abyss during chapter 4. Be sure to also buy the 3 crystallized demon rages he has for sale, a rather rare ingredient for our soup. The third group is about class abilities and feats. The most important one in this group by far is Mark of Justice, a paladin ability gained at level 11 that grants your entire party, summons included, the paladin's charisma modifier as attack bonus against the target. For Silov, this can mean up to around +8 AB for your whole party, or even higher for a player-created paladin that focuses on getting as much charisma as possible. Now this ability will also bypass the enemy's damage resistance and give everyone the paladin's class level as damage, so overall it's one of the best abilities in the entire game and certainly a must on unfair. Another very powerful source comes from Scald Rage. Skalds are basically bards that apply Barbarian Rage to the whole party when they sing. At endgame, you'll be looking at something like +11 party-wide AB, split between competence and untyped, especially when boosted by a certain cloak that increases rage bonus by +2 and other rage-focused items. That's not to mention a stacking increase to armor class from Beast Totem, Pounce, and even a very unique increase in critical multiplier from Lethal Accuracy. To put it simply, if you want to have a melee-focused party on unfair, you should always have a Skald, a Paladin, and a Cleric or Inquisitor. Now, as far as feats, I strongly recommend every single one of your melee characters get at least Outflank. For starters, it gives you a lot of free attacks of opportunity, which can be highly enhanced by the ever-ready Mythic ability and Combat Reflexes feat. Second, Outflank also gives you +2 on type to AB when flanking the enemy. Those that play Kingmaker already know flanking is very easy to do in Wrath of the Righteous. You basically just have to attack the enemy with 2 or more characters. They don't even need to be on opposing sides at all. Another decent feat is Weapon Focus for a +1 to AB, +2 with Mythic Weapon Focus, or double that if you are a fighter with access to the greater version of the feat. Unlike Outflank, I wouldn't say Weapon Focus is a necessity for most characters, as I know it can be hard to get it on some feat-starved builds. Fighters should definitely have it though. I'll also talk about Rangers and Favored Enemy here, because one of the most popular party members, the succubus Arushale, is one. And she can actually give your whole party half her Favored Enemy bonus by spending a move action from using Ranger's Bond. At max Favored Enemy, that's going to be around +4 against demons that you choose to increase. But there's a way to bypass that as well. Basically, all you have to do is cast Instant Enemy, a 3rd level Ranger spell. It costs only a swift action, so you can use it in the same round as Ranger Bond, which is a move action. With this spell, you can count the target as Aru's Favored Enemy, with the highest bonus she currently has, which is why I recommend increasing the same type of demon every level, either demons of strength or magic. If you were facing an undead for example, by casting Instant Enemy you could have Aru get a +8 against it at level 20 or a +4 for your whole party, even if she didn't have undead as a favored enemy in the first place. The 4th group is all about spells. The most common type of AB boost from spells is probably Morale. You can get a party-wide +1 from Bless early game. But later on you can simply just cast Heroism for a +2. Now Heroism actually has a party-wide version of it that only Skulls and Bards have access to, called Good Hope. Except unlike Heroism, it also gives your entire party a +2 morale to damage. Later on, you'll be able to get Greater Heroism and even Heroic Invocation. Both give +4 morale attack bonuses to the whole party. Another important and very well-known spell is Haste. As always, this spell is crazy powerful, but as far as attack bonus, it will buff your whole party with a +1 untyped. Still very good. Now let's talk about weapon enhancement. In Wrath of the Righteous, you can actually increase the enhancement of all your weapons up to a final +5 by using Greater Magic Weapon. This spell actually works by increasing over whatever enchantment your weapon already has. So in the case of Camelia's +2 Rapier for example, we can make it a +5 as soon as caster level 12. That's because Greater Magic Weapon will increase your enhancement by a +1 for every 4 caster levels you have. And like I said before, it will stack with whatever current enhancement your weapon already has up to a +5. There's of course Bow Strength for a +2 to AB that can be replaced with belts that also increase strength. Before you have access to powerful domain abilities, you can also use the spell Prayer for a party-wide +1 luck, and also Burst of Glory for a party-wide +1 sacred to attack bonus. We can also use side spells to increase both our attack bonus and damage. Reduce Person for example will increase your AB by +1 size, while also reducing base weapon damage. However, it's not really an issue for characters with Mythic Finesse, or another way of getting Dexterity to damage instead of Strength. As you can see, even with microscopic proportions, a Trickster unique spell that reduces your size even beyond Reduce Person, Camellia still has a very high damage after all. Now, spells that increase size will also actually reduce your attack bonus, but it doesn't really make much of a difference because they also come with a size boost to strength to make up for that. Legendary Proportions, for example, will actually give you a net increase in AB. Divine classes like Oracle, Cleric, Paladin, and Shaman have further ways of increasing their own AB. These are all self-buffs, but still very powerful ones. Divine Favor, for example, increases your AB and damage by up to +3, while Divine Power does the same except up to +6. Eagle Soul is a special spell that only works on good aligned characters and can increase melee AB by another +2 by increasing your strength by a +4 sacred, which is a very special type of bonus. So now that we know all of that, let's have a quick recap on all the attack bonus boosts we have currently on Camellia. For starters, she has a +14 base attack bonus. But if you were, let's say, a fighter or any other class with high base attack bonus progression, you'd be able to get a maximum of +20. She also has +15 from her high dexterity, +2 from size that comes from the spell Microscopic Proportions, a +2 insight from Inspiring Command that comes from Nobility Domain, a +10 Sacred that comes from the Community Domain ability, a +6 luck from her Divine Power spell, a +5 enhancement from her Holy Rapier, a +4 morale from the Heroic Invocation spell, +6 competence from Scald Rage, +3 meal from Demon Soup, +1 from her Greater Weapon Focus, +10 from the Visions of Madness ability from Madness Domain, +1 from Haste. This other +2 here also comes from Scald Rage, by virtue of that cloak I mentioned before that enhances all rage effects by 2. Now she also has a massive +9 from the Ever Ready Mythic ability. That's because this attack in particular is an attack of opportunity. And last but not least, we have another +3 from Inspired Rage. So in total, as I said before, Camellia has +11 attack bonus just from Scald Rage. Even with all of these bonuses adding up, we could actually have even more attack bonus boosts. That's because in this particular screenshot, we are still missing Scylla's Mark of Justice bonus for another +8. That's because, well, Scylla has a much lower initiative than Camellia, so Camellia ended up attacking before Scylla could get her Mark of Justice off. Overall, this should show you that for a character that has high base attack bonus, like a fighter or a ranger, a paladin for example, they can certainly end up with more than 100 attack bonus. In the fifth and final group, we have effects that indirectly contribute to attack bonus by debuffing the enemy's armor class. There's quite a lot of these, but I'll be focusing on effects that don't offer a save at all, meaning they will always work even on unfair. A very common and strong one is Evil Eye, a hex from Witch, Shaman and other classes that have access to hexes. Now starting from level 8, this ability gives a -4 to enemy armor class. A Shaman like Camellia can increase that penalty even further. That's because Camellia, as a battle shaman, can also use Hampering Hex for another -4 to armor class that will also stack with Evil Eye for a total of -8. Furthermore, by getting Second Spirit, Earth, she will be able to gain the Metal Curse Hex, reducing the enemy's armor class by a massive -6. That's a total of -14 just from a single character, although it would take her 3 rounds to get there. Ideally, you want to start with Metal Curse if you have it, because not only is it a -6, it also lasts for 3 rounds with no save at all. Another great way to reduce enemies' armor comes from the rogue classes, and it's called Bewildering Injury. After you hit the enemy with a sneak attack coming from your rogue, the enemy will suffer a -2 to armor class for attacks by your allies, and also up to -6 against the rogue's own attacks. There's also a way to reduce enemy's armor class by another -2 without a save by having a ranger or slayer use Quarry, while having the big game gloves equipped. Another special way of reducing the enemy's AC comes from weapons with the Brilliant Energy property, such as Finian for example. That's because this special property actually allows you to ignore the enemy's armor class based on armor or shield. So basically, here we have Scylla ignoring 8 points from the Skari's armor class by just attacking with a weapon that has the Brilliant Energy property. You don't really need all these penalties added together to sharply reduce the enemy's armor class, but they can certainly add up. Here, for example, with just Evil Y and Hampering Hex, we give the Scaries a -8 penalty to armor class, while attacking with Finian allows us to ignore another 8 points. Well, so that was basically it. With all this knowledge, you are without a doubt going to be able to hit enemies even on unfair. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe to help the channel